Alright guys, so I just spent the day here with my family, checking out Gatorland for the first time, and I gotta say, pleasantly surprised. You know, this was always something that we drove by here, and honestly, it looked kind of small. It looked like it may be just a tourist trap, but little did we realize there's so many things to do here, so much else to see than we thought otherwise. So go ahead and watch this video, because I'm about to show you exactly all the things that you can do here, and I think it'll be definitely worth visiting once, so check it out.
Alright, so this may be a small detail, but one of the things I really like about this place is that it is right off the highway, so it's just like going to any store, you just drive right on in, and you're bam, right at the parking lot. So it's super simple, super easy, nothing complicated about it, and the best part is, parking is free. Of course, you'll see that famous sign saying, "Greetings from Gatorland since 1949. Definitely not the tourist trap that I thought it was. I mean, this thing definitely has its history. It's existed even before this area of Florida became a tourist hotspot. So you can go ahead and park on either side of this famous gator head here. To the left of that huge mouth is where you're actually going to buy your tickets. By the way, at the moment of this filming, if you are a Florida resident, you can get half off admission price, so that's about $17, $18 per person. So right when you come in, you're greeted by none other than, just a bunch of alligators hanging out on this wooden slab here. Now, this part of the park, the entrance is, just a series of boardwalks, covered boardwalks, over a very shallow river that runs along the length of the park. And so there's a couple viewing areas, of course, with a couple more platforms where these little gators are hanging out. But just kind of beyond that, towards the second row, this is where you're going to see the famous Jumperoo show. And this is a quick little show. It's a nice little taste of what's to come, but it's basically a competition between two of the trainers to see how high they can get the alligators to jump. You'll see them jumping for food, so it's pretty exciting and definitely worth catching. I mean, we caught it right as we were walking in, so it was perfect. We didn't have to wait or anything like that. It's a nice mix of humor and comedy, which is going to be a common theme in all the shows that they have. Right by the Jumperoo show, by the way, are these two snack stands, so you can get some snacks here and some ice cream over there as well. Alright, so once you walk past the Jumperoo show, you're going to come across this kind of corridor that runs the length of the entire park. And this is where you're going to see a bunch of different things, anything from stores like this one here, this general store. This one, by the way, if you happen to forget some important things like sunscreen, maybe some towels, and other stuff like that, of course some souvenirs, you can buy this as well here. Right after that, you're going to see the bathroom, and right after that, you'll see an example of one of the things that really makes this place special. Again, it's not just about gators, it really is just a mini zoo for a bunch of animals. So here you'll see a place for parrots, and then immediately after that, you'll see there's a snake exhibit, and you'll see these little educational posters as well to help teach you about the animals. Along this main corridor, you'll also see these snack stalls, more snack stalls like this one here, serving popcorn, ice cream, drinks, and whatnot. And then here's one exhibiting the white gator. And right next to that is the albino alligator as well. Here's an aviary station, so you get to see some birds. And then right next to that, this is where you can get food for the gators. So one bag for $4.50, two bags $6.75, so on and so forth. And you can use these bags and feed any sort of gator that you may come across throughout the park. And then here's a real cool part, a petting zoo. So we brought my kid along, my toddler, and this is one of his favorite things. Here you can buy food for the petting zoo, but you can go up to the animals for free and just pet them if you'd like as well without having to pay for the food. After that, you'll see a coffee shop that also serves some fruit smoothies. And next to that, you'll see this thing that says Breeding Marsh Tower, and that's actually the end line of one of the other activities that you can do here, which is ziplining. Not only that, there's also a rock climbing course, so I'll show you that in a little bit as well. But this is a gift shop where you get those zipline photos if you do the ziplining, and of course, your standard gift shop fare like t-shirts, stuffed animals, and whatnot. Next to that, we come upon one of these shows that they put on here called Up Close Encounters. So there's usually two times, 10:45 and 2 o'clock, and this show is educational. So they talk about certain animals, and it's also they also bring up volunteers to be able to touch the animals, like these two holding a snake. And so, of course, you can't have alligators without crocodiles, so here's some showing some little baby Cuban crocodiles here. Here's an exhibit for some bobcats. Another small snack stand here, selling churros, pretzels, cotton candy, ice cream, and chips. And there are adult beverages here, in case you're wondering. And right next to this snack stand, right behind it, was the rock climbing wall that we talked about earlier. Looks like they're also going to be building a craft beer bar here called Gator, so that's coming soon, so that's pretty cool. And here's another show, Gatorland's Alligators Legends of the Swamp. And here's where a trainer wrestles with an alligator, kind of demonstrating how their jaws work specifically. Yeah, things can get pretty exciting with this show because they get real up close and personal. After the show, you can actually come up and take photos up close and personal with those alligators as well. Right at the end of this main corridor, you'll see this Pearl's restaurant. It's the closest thing you're going to get to a sit-down restaurant here. As you'll see, large seating area, so you can even bring the snacks and foods from the other stands here if you'd like. But here they serve your standard snacks and foods and drinks. Kind of adjacent to that is what they call the Swamp Walk. So this is a nice little pathway that goes through what they call the pristine, untouched Florida. So, it's just nature untouched. So if you're into those nature walks, you can definitely do that here. Right past that, you're going to see this exhibit for emus. And then the pathway that cuts across the lake, which is called the Breeding Marsh. And this is where you're going to be walking over the lake where they are breeding the alligators, so this is a great place to feed them as well. This also happens to be where the zip line goes over, so that's nice and exciting knowing that you're going over some alligators. Adds a nice little fear factor to that activity. And so along this walkway, you'll also see right in the middle there an observatory tower, which you can climb up. At the end of this path, this is where you're going to come across the train station. And the ironic thing is that the first version of this train was considered Central Florida's very first amusement park ride. So super ironic, considering that Disney then took over and built their empire years later. This is another great activity for the rain. You can just sit on the train ride and enjoy that ride through the park. So this is going to be a great way to kind of see all the things that you can do at the park, since it goes past a lot of the activities that you can partake in. Get to drive by this donkey here, and a couple cows as well as some parrots and tortoises. Right nearby, you're going to see Gator Joe's Adventure Outpost. So this is another gift shop where you can buy your standard gift shop fare, drinks, refreshments, and whatnot. But this is also where you can buy tickets for some of the more exciting things that you can do in this park, including probably the most thrilling thing that you can do here as far as rides, which is Gatorland's Stomping Gator Off-Road Adventure. So you ride this 12-foot high off-road monster vehicle. It gets pretty rough and exciting, so just make sure you're up for that ride. Just keep in mind it is extra charge, so it does not come with the park fee. Also in this area, if you have little kids and they're into their splash pads, they have an awesome splash pad here, as well as a playground right next to it, so pretty awesome. It's got your standard water park splash pad features, including these alligators, of course, no surprise there. And there's plenty of seating all around for the water park and the playground. Next to the splash pad and playground, there is a small little area as well with additional animal exhibits, including this big tortoise exhibit here. And for an extra fee, of course, if you bought food earlier, you can feed this guy here. There's also an exhibit for some panthers, some pumas, cougars, and mountain lions. And one of their more recent attractions, which is a gator named Jawline, and this one has, the top half of its jaw cut off. So they nursed it back to health. Now it's living here. There's also more baby gators, pythons, and lizards that you can check out in the same area. Alright, so kind of the north part of the park, this is where you're going to see a bunch more gators and crocodiles, including this very cool structure that looks like one of them. Probably the most exciting thing, again, an extra activity that you can pay extra for, is feeding gators up close and personal, and as you can see here, you can get super close to them. Alright, and last but not least, you do have the gift shop right by the exit. This is going to be the biggest shop in the entire park. Again, your standard t-shirts, gator head models here, some stuffed animals. You can get some specialty wines, more stuffed toys. You can even get some baby gear here, cups, mugs, shot glasses, and whatnot.
Alright, so I hope that gives you an idea of what you can expect to do here, and definitely check out that annual pass as well, because it's not that much. it pays for itself in 2 visits. But I hope you enjoy your visit here. If you do plan on going, it's definitely worth visiting at least once. Also, like and subscribe. Make sure to follow me around as I go on more adventures, and hope to see you on the next one.